All right, I haven't done a couch video for a while. Sometimes when I used to do these during Malazan, it was when I was, I usually just read right here. And then instead of going into the other room, I wanted to talk about something in the book that's happening. So I've been reading Guards. Just started it. So I am on page 87 in this edition or print or whatever. Uh, and I want to talk about it a little bit. This isn't my first time in Discworld, but it is, I've read Mort, which wasn't my favorite at the time. I kind of read it in between uh, maybe Memories of Ice and House of Chains, which were two very deep books and ones that I was very looking forward to like continuing on in the series. And maybe it just wasn't. I don't know. I am going to read it again, but I'm having so much fun with this start of Guards, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Uh, uh you know, and there might be some spoilery things, but I don't know where it's going. But I really, really, really like it. And if you haven't read it before, here's a little bit of an introduction of maybe what to expect, kind of the hooks it throws into you early on, because you want to have a good, you want it to have a good premise, and I think it has a great premise. So, guards. There used to be this guard guild in this city, apparently, and this night watch, and they were in charge of making sure that things were done in order and keeping the peace and yada yada, what you would expect from a night watch or whatever. And ever since this thief guild and other guilds have kind of become not just a thing but like legalized within the city, it has minimized the need for this night watch. And basically all it's kind of turned into, and it reminds me of when I worked at a campground ages ago. And at nighttime, it was my job to go around and kind of tell people that it was past 11:30 and they had to kind of keep it down and whatever. But I hated doing that. I hated doing that because part of camping is staying up late and talking and whatever. But then we'd get complaints if we didn't do that. But now in this book, this Night Watch, basically all it's come to is there were these three people, I guess two, before the main character arrives, and they just they ring the bell on the street and says it's 12 o'clock and all's well, right? And in comes, and I'll get to some of the other plot. It's funny. In comes this main character called Carrot, who grew up with dwarves, and he's like 6'6", I think. And he didn't know, he had to be told that actually he wasn't a dwarf, and he was found once with a sword, and he's very eager. Like his personality is very much like a who's the third, or who's the musketeer, the fourth one, the one that wants to join, super eager. Also like Don Quixote, if you've ever read that, he's very eager to be a hero and do things right. And this Carrot does things by the books, and it's kind of getting them in trouble early on in this book, where he's going into places and like uh arresting the heads of these guilds, and it's kind of ruffling a whole bunch of feathers. So that's one thing going on that is hilarious in my mind, and there's just such good writing. Like I'm quite smitten by my first 90 pages with it. Other things that are happening, there's this kind of shady, I don't know if they're called a guild, but more like a brotherhood of like weird mages or whatever they would be. And they figure that in order to, they want to go back to the time of a king or whatever. And usually that sort of thing happens when there's a whole bunch of turmoil happening and someone will arrive, usually like a shepherd or a person that lives on a farm will show up and provide law and order. And you assume that'll be this carrot boy. But in order to create some disorder, they want to summon a dragon. And so I don't know where that's going to go. There's a dragon on the cover, and they've already kind of had some mixed success with summoning this dragon or these dragons that they would like to summon, and it's fun and compelling. Another thing happening, we have the patrician, I think is that's his title. Yeah, the patrician, who they want to kind of oust that guy and rule with a king, but they would kind of control the king, right? And so it's interesting seeing these three very clear things, these different points of view. The foreshadowing is amazing, where it's very clear what's going to come to a head. I assume when this carrot dude, comes to a head with what this brotherhood is doing, and as he keeps trying to create law and order in the city. Like, I decided to do this video because I just got to a part where he goes into like a dwarf tavern, and he lived among very peaceful, happy dwarves. But this tavern, they just are fighting every night, and he kind of shames them and talks about what their mothers would think of it, and it's just so funny. Anyway, just so funny how it kind of is coming together. And anyway, a good in-between book. If it lands well, I'll probably continue throwing in a few Discworlds in here or there. So those are my first impressions. And I know Matt's Fantasy Book Review, they're doing this as a buddy read, and I saw that come up, so I thought, I'll throw in another Discworld for the time being. So anyway, I've found it funny in the last little while that I've been reading it, and I'll probably finish it this week. So talk to you guys later. Bye.